Cool. So, welcome, guys. Hello and good evening. It's lovely to see so many of you guys here. We've got a mixture. We have a couple of people that are currently with us inside the program and are clients of ours. We've also got loads of new faces. So, it's lovely to have you all. I'm hoping this is going to be super useful for all of you guys. But like I said at the start, I'm Zoe. This is Adam. Together, we run Patient Fitness and we specialize in helping people that want to lose an absolute minimum of 10 kilos. Our real specialty is helping people break below 100 kilos and get to double digits on the scales. And that is what this masterclass is going to be all about. That is what you guys are all here for. Can you guys just chuck a one in the Zoom chat if the goal for you at the moment is fat loss? You're wanting to lose weight, minimum 10 kilos, however much it is. Just chuck a one in the Zoom chat if that's your goal at the moment. Perfect. You're in the right place. So this is Masterclass 99. What we're going to be doing, and the aim of the call today, is we are going to be diving into showing you all how to get below 100 kilos without having to sacrifice your entire life or do really extreme measures to get there. So we want to teach you in this masterclass how to lose weight sustainably, get an incredible transformation, stop feeling stuck in your journey, but not only that, keep the results long term. It's one thing to go through a weight loss process and lose a lot of weight, but I think it's another thing to also be able to maintain it and to stay there long term. I speak to a lot of people that really struggle with this. They might have said, "Oh, I've had experiences in the past where I've lost like 20 kilos, 30 kilos, but I gained it all back." And I think that sometimes there's a real gap of knowledge in there. So we want to teach you all of that. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to teach you via our three-pillar system that we use with our clients inside the program that at this point has helped more than 200 ladies get below 100 kilos and stay there for good. Full transparency as well, we have an offer that we're going to talk you guys through at the end of this call. For now, what we want to do is we want to give you guys all the learning, give you guys as much knowledge as possible. But there is an offer we want to give you guys at the end. So stay tuned for that. And whether you guys are here live or whether you're listening to it recorded, the offer applies for both of you. So without further ado, let's dive in. So before we go into this, I want to talk about where you guys might be at and some likely feelings you guys might be having. So I'm going to go and talk through a couple of these. If you guys relate to any of these and any of these kind of hit home or you feel like you are going through this right now, chuck a 3 in the Zoom chat for us so that we know that if it appeals to you guys really. So first things first, you might be feeling at this point like you have tried to lose weight hundreds of times before, but you just gain it all back. You feel like you're stuck in that cycle. You might lose a little bit, but keeping it off long term is something that's really challenging. I can see you guys putting some 3s in there. So this is a really common thing that we've noticed and something that we help our clients with a lot. So you're not alone there. Next thing is you might feel like you're stuck in a cycle of just starting and stopping as well. That classic line of I'll just start again Monday. You might right now be feeling like that's a constant theme in your life. You feel like maybe Monday to Friday, you're able to be really on it with your fat loss progress. But then when the weekend rolls around, the weekend is much harder to sustain. Life happens, you have plans, and you feel like you're just in this kind of never ending hamster wheel of stopping and starting. If that's you, if you feel like you go through that right now, chuck a 3 in the Zoom chat and keep those coming in as well. Next one, you know what to do, but actually doing it feels impossible. I cannot tell you how many ladies we speak to on a weekly basis that say, the thing is, I know what to do, just actually doing it is the hard part. And if that's you, I want you to know you're not alone. This is a really common feeling and a really common problem that I know a lot of ladies face. So if that's you, keep chucking the 3s in. But you also might be on the other end of the scale. You might not be someone who thinks, I know what to do, I just don't know what to do, I just don't know how to do it. You actually might just be crazily confused about fat loss in general. Nowadays, there is so much conflicting information on social media and so much conflicting information online. It feels hard sometimes to know if you are actually doing the right thing and if what you are doing is the thing you should be doing. I don't think that we live in an age of where we have a lack of information. I actually think we're in a kind of a dawn of time where we have more information than ever before. We don't have an information problem. I think what we have now is more of an implementation problem. There is so much information, so much discourse, so much noise. It's about how do we extract that and actually know what the right thing is for me to do. And that's a really common thing. And as a result of that, right now, you might be just feeling really frustrated when it comes to losing weight, feeling overwhelmed. You might feel defeated, like you've tried loads of stuff. And as a result, you might just be feeling really unhappy as well. If you guys are feeling this way right now, we are very happy that you're here and you are exactly in the right place because this is exactly what we're going to help you with today. And when I say we understand, we really do completely understand how you guys feel. Not only have we kind of been on our own journey, but by this point we have helped hundreds of ladies to lose weight. And I understand the feelings and how it feels to be stuck in this place. And we want to help you guys with that today. So for most ladies, such as yourselves who are over 100 kilos, this isn't just about food. It's not just about a workout plan or calories. What it actually is what you're having to overcome is years of self-doubt, failed diets, failed attempts to lose weight, feeling low in confidence, struggling with pretty debilitating things like emotional eating, and putting everyone else first above your own. Are any of you guys in here parents? Do you guys have kids? Like, put a four in the Zoom chat if you guys have a family, if you have children, if you're also alongside this journey trying to fit in. Okay, lots of you are parents. So, yeah, I know how it is. Like, when you're a parent, suddenly you're not the top priority. You're putting other people before your own, and there's other people that come before you. And as a result, it can feel like your health and your fitness always gets put on the back burner. This masterclass is not here to shame you, it is not to tell you that you're doing things wrong. It is actually here to help you and to show you a different approach, an approach that actually works and has worked for countless of women that have come before you. So if you guys are ready for that, chuck a five in the Zoom chat so that you're ready to dive into that. Awesome, cool. So before we dive into the main part of the call, a couple of things I want to make really clear. This masterclass is not for you if you're looking for any of the following. So if you're looking for a quick fix, we are not coaches that do quick fixes. We're not coaches that are here to help you just drop as much weight as possible in 4 weeks before your next holiday. That is not how we work, and that's not what we're about. So if that's you, this isn't the right fit for you. If you also want extreme dieting, if you're just trying to lose as much weight as fast as possible, this isn't going to be a thing for you. If you're looking for a 2 week transformation, this also going to be isn't going to be the right thing. But also, if you're not really ready to change your habits, if you're not ready to maybe get some advice on maybe doing things a bit differently, learning how to do things in a different way, maybe this isn't going to be the right thing for you either. I think if you're coming to this masterclass, I would imagine it's because you guys are fed up and you're ready to maybe do things a bit differently, to get some help and start to implement and make some different choices. But if that's not you right now, this probably isn't going to be the right fit for you. But this masterclass is going to be for you if you want a sustainable fat loss process that is actually going to work. If you want to lose weight without sacrificing your entire life, without doing crazy restrictive diet plans or 7 days a week in the gym or things that make you feel like you're having to mold your life around a fitness program. If you want something that is going to be sustainable, this is going to be the perfect fit for you. If you are ready to do things a bit differently as well, if you're like, you know what, I've tried lots of things, maybe they haven't worked. I am now ready to be shown a path, make some different choices that are ultimately going to change how I'm feeling in this moment. And if you want results that actually last as well, if that's you, you're going to be a perfect fit for this masterclass. And I think this is going to be pretty game changing for you.
So, who are we? So, obviously, Zoe's going to do quite a lot of the speaking today, just because this is a masterclass designed for women. Obviously, men can kind of take these things that we're teaching and implement them themselves, and we will be probably doing another masterclass for men. But Zoe's going to be doing most of the talking, most of the teaching. But we run Patient Fitness together, so thought I'd be here, talk to you guys as well, do some coaching, and just kind of show my face here as well. So we originally met in drama school, not anything to do with fitness, which is weird. Wanted to be actors. Quite quickly realized that we didn't want to be actors anymore just because of the industry. It's pretty horrible. And that's where I got into fitness, and it's where Zoe kind of got into fitness over COVID as well, just
Yeah.
graduating from drama school, right? We've now been running Patient Fitness for like coming up to 4 years now, and we work with over 500 clients, kind of similar goals to you guys, wanting to lose a minimum of 10 kg, mostly trying to get people underneath 100 kilos. We started off in person. I was a in-person PT, so I was teaching classes at F45. She coached like hundreds, maybe thousands of people throughout that, right?
I think it probably was at the end. I probably had thousands of people that I trained with. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
but we both got pretty fully booked in person. Did like in-person sessions. I was working from like 6 a.m. till like 9 p.m. most days, and burnt out quite a lot actually. Like my fitness took a like a backseat, so did Zoe's, and we were like really putting a lot into work and not focusing on ourselves and our own fitness, not really kind of practicing what we preach. So we kind of transitioned online so we could help more people. We had more time to do that. And the not only could we help more people, but the kind of the results for individuals just started getting better and better and better, right? And we both know how it feels to be underconfident with our bodies, miserable, and that stop us from doing things like, trying on new clothes, going out. It was always this weight for me. It was like this always this weight on my shoulders or this challenge that I had to overcome every time I wanted to do something like go out, meet friends, even just little things, even like physically do stuff where I knew my friends could do it and I maybe couldn't. So that's kind of where we came from. Like I said, we've coached hundreds of people up until this point. Here's like a handful of the clients. Honestly, we couldn't kind of fit them all on this page, but we wanted to kind of share some. All of these need updating as well. Like everyone's kind of lost more than this. Like Ryan's lost like 75 at this point now. And Ben, yeah, he's lost 60.
Yeah.
So all of these people came like made that kind of hard decision, that scary decision to do something different, to overcome the challenges that have been holding them back before and draw a line in the sand and do different things. The things that we're going to be teaching in this masterclass, they held themselves accountable for it and they stuck to it even when motivation wasn't there. Because motivation isn't going to be there forever. It's what can we do on the average week that's actually going to get us results. And through coaching, through accountability, through patient fitness, these people were able to stay accountable to themselves. And like some of these people aren't with us anymore in terms of on the program, they're still away making progress, sustaining everything. It hasn't just been kind of like, they leave and they stop making progress. We've equipped them with the tools to keep making progress after this. So hopefully that is kind of enough information or enough of like proof from us that we know what we're talking about and you should lock in and listen to what we're about to say in the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. What it actually takes to get below 100 kg, like a lot of people think it's this massive thing that it's impossible. It's not impossible, and it's actually quite simple, but simple doesn't always mean easy. Like I said, motivation isn't going to be there forever. What a lot of people tend to do is try and do a load of different things. There's lots of contradicting information there online. There's loads of people saying you should do a load of different things. And what we tend to do is like take little bits from everyone. And if you take little bits from everyone, you just get very good at like a lot of little things. You never get consistent results. Likewise, you can do the opposite and go all in on something like a crash test diet or something that's majorly restrictive, get really quick, great results and hate it and want to come away from it. As soon as you do come away from it, we go backwards. I'm sure a lot of you can kind of relate to that, right? So our clients lose on average zero point 0.5 to 1 kg per week, having done everything that like we've told them to do, is in the workouts, the nutrition plan, the guidance, the steps, all that sort of stuff. That's what we average on getting. And this is all healthy, gradual, and sustainable. Now, I know 1 kg loss per week does sound massive and it sounds great, but it is a sustainable way of doing things. Like we're not just trying to lose as much as we can every single week. We want to focus on enjoyment and we want to focus on results. Otherwise, nothing's going to be sustainable. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that later. This is not like what we don't do is crash test diets. We don't starve you. We don't want you starving yourself. We don't want to be obsessing over food just because, again, they get quick results. Like, I'm not taking it away. Like it works for some people, but unless you're going to be doing that for the rest of your life, you're not going to get results for the rest of your life and we're just going to go backwards. So a tip I would give is if what you're doing right now you dislike, you need to find something else because it's not going to be sustainable long term. And as soon as you come away from it and you're like, oh, finally, I've come away from this and I can just start eating normally again, we're just going to go backwards because we're not fixing anything at the source. We're just kind of putting a plaster over it and ignoring it and trying to just lose weight as quickly as possible and think this is the only way. We're here to tell you that's not the only way. There is a sustainable way that is actually fun to do and it gets you sustainable results that you can then keep for the rest of your life, right? It doesn't have to be just, I'm getting in shape for a wedding, I'm getting in shape for a holiday, I'm getting in shape for an event. We can do it for the rest of our lives, for your kids, for your family, for everything that you want to do. All right. So it's not just the number, it's everything that brings you as well. Some weeks, will be higher than others in terms of the weight, but that's okay. Like some weeks the scales will go up, some weeks the scales won't move. That's fine. This is totally normal. Your main goal for this is to take away the emotion from the scales. You don't want to be just measuring the scales and thinking, yeah, that's the only measurement of success. It's absolutely not. We want to be measuring as much as we can. We want to be measuring the weight on the scales. We want to be measuring pictures, the way you look, your measurements, your energy, your sleep, your mood, as much as we can, just so that we can see that at least one area is moving in the right direction every single week. Even if the weight isn't moving, we want to see at least one area. Okay. So yeah, fine, the scales didn't move, but you were less irritable this week, or you slept better this week, or you were stronger this week. As long as we're becoming that person that we want to become, that's not just a number on the scales, then we're happy. That's what you want to be focusing on. You want to be focusing on enjoyment and results in every area, not just the number on the scales. So our approach, a little bit different to crash tests, diets, maybe things you've tried in the past. We do structured 12-week phases in terms of meals or nutrition. Structured 12-week phases with the nutrition. We use 6-week phases with the training, but again, Zoe will go over the training in a little bit more detail in a minute. We have planned breaks and reset weeks, so you're not constantly dieting, you're not constantly on a cut, you're not constantly restricting. Because otherwise, yeah, if we're constantly restricting, you're just going to be thinking about the thing that makes you either binge or that you're craving, and then you end up going back, craving, binging, all that sort of stuff. So we don't do that. We put in breaks, we put in reset weeks, so your body can get used to that because your body does get used to a cut. Eventually, like if we're in a deficit for so long, your body will get used to that, and that will be your maintenance calories, and then we have to cut even more to lose weight. So putting in breaks, putting in resets, make sure that we don't have to constantly be cutting, 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 cutting. We focus on long-term adherence, not short-term gains. So again, things that you can stick to for the rest of your life, habits that you can take into, teach to other people, implement into your life that carries over into other areas of your life, not just short-term effects for, holiday, wedding, all that sort of stuff. It's not about just losing weight as fast as possible. And it's not just about losing weight. Yes, we're coaches that say we want to get you below 100 kilos, but it's everything else that comes with that. So just do like a bit of a mindset exercise at the moment. Like, let's say you got to that point where you're under 100 kg or you'd lost 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 kilos. You're looking at the number on the scale and you feel nothing at the moment, right? You've looked at the number on the scale, you go, cool, that's nice. You step off the scale, you go outside. What would that allow you to achieve? What other personal goals does that allow you to do? How would you be able to feel when you go out? How would you be able to feel when you go out and socialize with people, when you want to do active stuff? When you catch yourself, your reflection in a shop window, how are you going to feel when you can get to that point? That's what matters. It's not just looking at the number, it's everything else that brings. You want to be feeling confident. You want to be feeling fit. You want to be feeling strong. You don't want to be feeling starved. You don't want to be feeling low in energy because that will stop you from doing all the stuff that you actually want to do that getting lighter will allow. So it's about, yes, losing weight, but it's also about everything else that brings, the confidence, the strength, everything. Okay. It's about becoming the version of yourself who you want to keep off, who keeps it off forever. Okay, not just the person who can restrict and like grit and bear it all the way through until they've had enough. These habits need to be embedded in your life and so you can sustain them for the rest of your life. So I'm going to pass back to Zoe, and we're going to go over the three-pillar approach that we use inside patient fitness that have got loads of people underneath 100 kilos, some actionable steps that you can do too, and some focuses that we can be working on.
Perfect. So we're going to go through three pillars. So this is exactly what we use with our clients and the exact protocol that we use to take people from over 100 kgs to double digits and to stay there for good. Before we dive into talking about the first pillar, our kind of philosophy and what we really want to preach and what we think any good fat loss or coaching program should contain, it needs to have two things. Adam touched on this a little bit just now, but it needs to have results, but it also needs to have enjoyment. Without one or the other, it's not going to be a sustainable plan that keeps you on track long term. If you have just results, but absolutely zero enjoyment, like Adam said, you're going to feel miserable. You're not going to want to stick to it long term. You've got to enjoy what you're doing. But also, if you just have enjoyment without any kind of result, it's kind of just a hobby. And you're also going to be feeling completely dissatisfied with your health and fitness because you're not actually seeing the payoff in what you want to see. So we need to have a balance of both. And you absolutely can have a balance of both as well. It doesn't have to be gritting your teeth, miserable, grinding your way the whole way through. Of course, there's going to be some tough days, there's going to be some tough moments in your journey, but it doesn't mean that it has to be completely painful from the get go. There is a world in which you can have an incredible transformation and you can also have some enjoyment and have some fun along the way as well. And that's what we're going to kind of really dive into. The first pillar that I want to talk about that we do with our clients is focused on training and your workouts. Before we dive into that, I really wanted to touch on one of our lovely clients, Charlie, who is no longer in the program with us. She got an incredible transformation and is headed off on her own way. She's actually pregnant with her second baby now as a result of losing this amount of weight, which is incredible for her. I'm super, super thrilled. Charlie came to us And in 4 months, she lost 19 kilos, which is a crazy transformation on its own. But it runs a lot deeper than that for Charlie. Charlie found out literally a couple of days before starting with us that she had PCOS. We've worked with a lot of ladies that have conditions such as PCOS, endometriosis, PMDD, Hashimoto's, like lots of different things. She was someone that was completely confused by the gym and had actually like she'd had a personal trainer before, an in-person PT, but had had a really negative experience. She felt like her PT was very demeaning, very belittling, didn't take into account that she was somebody in a bigger body. And to be honest, she felt like she'd been kind of bullied in her session. So it's safe to say that she had a very negative experience with exercise coming into the program. And that's something I was very sensitive of. The reason why I wanted to talk about Charlie before we talk about workouts and nutrition is because she had PCOS, weight training, which we're about to talk about, and strength training has absolutely changed her life and has been a sole reason why she's been able to lose weight. There's a really big misconception that if you get diagnosed with PCOS, that it's game over. It means that you're never going to be able to lose weight. Having conditions, and maybe some of you guys in the program do have conditions like this, or I'll see you guys on the call, sorry. When you have conditions like this, yes, it does present an obstacle. Yes, it can make things a bit challenging. However, it does not mean that it is now impossible for you to lose weight. It just means that you need a slightly different approach and you need something that is backed in science. And this is what weightlifting, combined with getting help with nutrition and help with her mindset, has allowed her to do. And was able to help her lose 19 kg in 4 months and get pregnant very shortly after leaving the program, which is just incredible. And I'm really buzzing for her, to be honest. So let's talk about the first pillar, which is workouts. There is so much conflicting information out there online. Chuck a 6 in the Zoom chat. Do you guys lift weights at the moment? Are any of you guys lifting weights? No shame if you're not. Just out of interest, are any of you currently doing that in your program? Oh, great. Awesome. Good to see that. Very happy to see that because this is an absolute fundamental of what you need to be doing if you want to lose weight. Most of our clients, I would say 80% of our clients, do 3 weightlifting workouts per week, and they range from about 45 minutes long to 60 minutes long. So really, they're spending at a maximum kind of 3 hours a week in the gym or at home, because you can train at home or in the gym, whatever your kind of situation is. The reason why it's weightlifting needs to be the foundation of your training, not only if you want to lose weight, but it needs to be the foundation of your training just for your health and your longevity lifelong as well. A few different reasons. So weightlifting is so good for fat loss because it helps you to become more effective at losing weight over time because it speeds up your metabolism, because when you lift weights, you build more muscle, basically. And that is why weightlifting is so superior over other forms of exercise when it comes to weight loss. Lifting weights means you build a bit of muscle, means you get a faster metabolism, means that you keep getting better and better and better and better and more efficient at burning fat over time. So that's why it's so great. Not only that, but it just massively improves your confidence. I did not step foot into a gym until I was about 21. And I would say that I was somebody that absolutely repelled exercise up until that age. And Adam will tell you the same as well. I remember you used to try and take me into gym sessions before and everything. And I used to hate it and I was incredibly uncomfortable in the gym. There is nothing like, in my opinion, as a woman, going into the gym, lifting weights, and that feeling of empowerment and strength and confidence that you get from lifting weights. I think it's an incredible transformative experience. It also really helps you to improve your body composition. So what I mean by body composition is what percentage of your body is made up of body fat and what is made up of muscle tissue. A lot of people think that to lose weight, you've got to jump on the cardio machine and go on the cardio and run on the treadmill for hours and hours and hours. And that's how you get like a really sculpted, toned, athletic physique. It's actually not the case. Lifting weights is the thing that creates that body that you want. So not only are you going to be able to drop dress sizes and lose lots of weight, but you're going to really start to tone and sculpt and shape your body in the way that you want to. That comes from building lean muscle mass. It's also really crucial because it just supports your long-term health. Obviously, all of you ladies that are here listening to this call, as we start to think about, midlife, heading into older age, we start to think about things like perimenopause, menopause, osteoporosis, all these things, like losing muscle mass as we start to get older. Weightlifting is an absolutely fundamental thing that is going to help you with all of these things. It's going to help you with perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms as we start to get a little bit older. It's going to help prevent things like osteoporosis or sarcopenia, which is losing muscle mass as we get older. It's absolutely crucial for our health, and it's the foundation for fat loss and for a healthy life. So if I could get you guys to take away one thing from this call or from this section of the call, if you're not lifting weights right now, let this be your sign to start picking up a couple of dumbbells and starting to lift weights, because it is going to be the best thing for you. Most importantly, it is efficient, it is realistic, And it is a sustainable thing that you can follow as part of an active lifestyle when you're someone that leads a really busy life. We obviously know that all of you ladies are going to be incredibly busy. You're probably going to have loads of responsibilities. So you need a workout plan that is quick, simple, structured, easy to follow, and gets you an incredible result. So, like I said, pretty much all of our clients do 3 workouts per week. Some of our clients do two, actually, because they kind of do some other things. Others might do slightly more, but as a general, pretty much all of our clients do 3 workouts a week. They're about 45 minutes to an hour, and it is more than enough time for you to be doing 3 workouts per week and get an incredible transformation. What we normally do with patient fitness as well is we give all our clients new workout plans every 6 weeks. A couple of reasons why we do this. That is so that your body keeps being challenged. The workouts keep being challenging for you and you keep seeing great physical progress, but also it keeps things really fun and keeps things really interesting for you as well. If you're doing the same workout plan again and again and again, the same workouts all the time, it's going to get really boring and you're going to notice your progress and your strength is going to plateau quite fast. So every 6 weeks is a really good way to think of just changing your workout plan and adding in new exercises in the gym. And that's what we do with all of our clients. The main thing you want to be focusing on in your weightlifting sessions is progressive overload. If you don't know what that means, that is absolutely fine. I used to have no clue what that meant. Progressive overload is just basically a scientific term of saying that every time you want to be heading into the gym, the focus for you is you want to be upping the ante and adding more weight essentially onto your exercises. So, for example, if you went into the gym and you did a squat with a dumbbell one week and you lifted 5 kilos, the aim would be for you to come back the next week and maybe try and lift 6 kilos and just gradually add small incremental weight progressions as you go through your little 6 week cycles with all the exercises that you have. It can be as simple as that. You want to feel like you're turning up to the gym, putting in effort, working hard, 3 workouts a week on a few of your exercises in your sessions, trying to see if you can lift a little bit heavier in each one. If you do that and if you have that philosophy to your training, you're going to get an absolutely incredible result and incredible transformation. In combination with that, we also make sure that all of our clients have a daily step target. It doesn't have to be 10,000 steps a day. It doesn't have to be that. If you're way off that right now, if you're maybe only doing like 2,000 steps a day, you don't have to jump all the way up to 10,000. You can jump up to like 4,000, for example. But committing to a daily step goal and committing to getting some daily movement in is also really good for a couple of reasons. First of all, it really helps you to just burn more energy throughout the day, which is going to make you more effective at losing weight faster. But also, I think something that's really underestimated about this is the mental benefits that you get from this. Um, you know, it's really good to think about getting activity in throughout your working day, especially because you know what it's like if you have an incredibly stressful day at work, if life is really hectic, committing to getting outside, getting some fresh air and getting some steps in does absolute wonders for your mental health. And I think this is something that is actually really underestimated as well. I know what Adam and I do is we work from home, like we're always at home and our life, even though we're coaches, we're super sedentary, like we don't move a lot. So we commit to having blocks in our day, like on our lunch break, for example, where we'll make sure we'll go outside, we'll get out the house, we'll get some steps in. It really helps you to keep feeling refreshed. It really helps you mentally and it helps you with your fat loss progress. So it's a bit of a win-win. So that's another really big thing I would insist on doing as well. Cardio, if you're someone that loves cardio, then that's great. We always recommend adding in cardio for your cardiovascular fitness, obviously, and adding it in for fun. But it doesn't need to be a main component of your training when the goal is fat loss. That is because there's a big misconception that, like I said earlier, if you want to lose weight, you've got to suddenly jump on the treadmill and run on the treadmill for hours, and that's how you do it. Lifting weights is much more effective and much less time consuming than that. We always recommend for cardio, add it in 1 to 2 times a week. Make it something that you really enjoy. You might love going out on your bike and cycling. You might love doing a gym class. You might love doing, I don't know, you might love going swimming or something like that. Whatever it is, pick something you enjoy, add that in just as a little supplement thing. So your action step from this, as we're talking about training, if you haven't yet delved into the weight section, be brave and start to think about lifting weights. It will be the best thing that you've ever done and you won't regret it. If you're doing really excessive cardio right now, if you're thinking, oh, I've got to do hours and hours a week to lose weight, shed that mindset and start to swap that out for more weightlifting and just focus on what you enjoy as well. Remember that, yes, we want results, but we want enjoyment in what you're doing as well. If you're hating your exercise routine and absolutely despising what you're doing, you're not going to stick at it long term. So try to find something that you really like as well. So that's the first pillar, really. Second pillar that we're going to dive into is on nutrition, which makes up a huge part of your journey. Adam and I used to be in-person PTs, and we mentioned that a reason why we went online is because we were feeling burnt out with all the in-person sessions. But another reason we went online is because we noticed that our clients got much better results. And that is because when it comes to weight loss, your workouts and your training are actually not as big a component of the journey as you think it might be. Your nutrition and your mindset is actually going to kind of be like 90% of the journey, and everything else is the rest of the 10%. Nutrition is an absolutely massive part. And we felt like, as in-person PTs, we were able to give people lots of attention on the workout side, which is great. But when it came to weight loss, we found that people really needed more help with things like their diet, their habits, their mindset, and all that sort of stuff. And there was a limited scope on what we could do. So that's also why we've developed this method and gone online, because we're able to give our clients much, much, much more focus on nutrition. Sarah lost 30 kilos with us in 10 months, and she absolutely smashed it. And she's done really, really well. She's still with us in the program right now. She's about to do a high rocks as well, which is just incredible. Sarah came to us about a year and a half ago. And prior to that, she'd had really, really major spinal surgery. And the reason why she wanted to join us is because she had the spinal surgery and had always struggled with her weight her whole life, was significantly over 100 kilos. And when she went through that surgery, she hated the feeling of feeling out of control in her body. And she said that she felt like she went into the hospital room and she had to have double the amount of anesthesia. And she really did not like that. And that really freaked her out. So she joined us by saying, like, I need to make a change. I need to lose weight. I really want to put my health first. But the thing that she said to me was, Zoe, please do not give me a really boring, horrible meal plan where I'm eating chicken, broccoli, and rice forever. She was like, I'm really afraid of joining a program and having to do that because I love food. I'm a foodie. I enjoy my food and I enjoy what I eat. And I don't want to do that. Good news is that is absolutely not what we're about and not what we preach. What we are about to teach you guys through is exactly what we've helped Sarah with and all our other clients in the program. So, nutrition, like I said, this is an absolutely huge part of the fat loss journey. The way that we work and what we really believe in is allowing every single person that we work with a flexible calorie deficit that actually fits real life. We do not prescribe meal plans, strict, boring meal plans that allow for no flexibility. We do not want you to or expect you to completely cut out your favorite foods. We do not preach the clean eating only. And we also do not promote or encourage crazy restriction. The reason why is because all of this leads to feeling like you are missing out on life and you're missing out on eating the foods that you really enjoy. And when you do that, that suddenly means that sticking to a calorie deficit is incredibly hard because you really feel like you're coming from a place of restriction. You know, if you suddenly say to yourself, and maybe you guys have been through this before, when you say to yourself, oh, I'm not eating any chocolate because I'm trying to lose weight, all of a sudden, all you can think about is chocolate. You think about it day in, day out, and then after a few days, you're going to have a massive binge and you're going to eat the whole thing. That restriction, that element of militant precision in nutrition does not work. Meal plans and things like that have a place for maybe a different kind of person, but when you have a long-term fat loss goal, like all of you ladies that are here, I know that you want to lose a minimum of 20 kilos. Some of you probably want to lose a lot more. If you're going to be going with that crazy amount of restriction for that long, it's just not going to be an enjoyable and it's just not going to work for you long term. So what we focus on instead, and what we would really encourage you guys to start thinking about, is having a flexible calorie deficit where you are allowed to have some of your favorite things. The main thing you do need to do is you need to track your food. There is a lot of people online that will tell you tracking is the most restrictive, boring, horrible thing that you can do in the world. And I know that a lot of you ladies probably have tried tracking before. Can you chuck a 7 in the Zoom chat if any of you guys have tried to track your food before, just out of interest? Have you guys ever tried that before? Maybe you've downloaded MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck or something and you've tried that before. Cool. I thought that would be the case. There's a real misconception that food tracking is restrictive and encourages restriction. It can do that when it's not taught in the right way and when you're not shown how to do it properly. Calorie tracking is and can be a very healthy tool that teaches you awareness of your food. And the more that you do it, the more aware you become of your food over time once you're shown how to do it the right way. So you do need to track your food, and that is just kind of a reality of it. Do you now have to track your food forever and ever and ever because you're on a weight loss journey? Absolutely not. But with the goal that you guys have, you know, you want to lose a large amount of weight, it's going to be for a season of your life that you're going to log your food. It is the only thing realistically that is going to work. because you just need to know how much you're eating. No matter how in tune you might feel like you are right now with your eating and with your diet, if you don't have the data, if you don't quite know how many calories you're eating, it's just not going to be something that you can sustain long term, and it's just not going to be enough. It's going to be coming from a place of guesswork rather than precision, which is what we want. So we want you, obviously, we need to track food through MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck, whatever it is they use. But combined with that, the biggest thing that we focus on is helping people to have a high protein diet. Protein is everywhere right now. It's a very big buzzword, of course, but it is really important for fat loss. It's not the only thing you should care about with your nutrition, but protein is going to be really helpful for you when you are trying to lose weight for a reason. It is going to make sure that you are not starving hungry in your calorie deficit. And that is a possibility. You don't have to be eating tiny portions and being hungry all the time. Protein is the most filling out of protein, carbs, and fats. Protein is the most filling out of all three. So you want to make sure that you're having a really decent amount of that daily, so that you're not feeling too hungry. The second reason why it's also really good is because combined with your strength training, which hopefully you guys will be following in your program, combined with eating high protein, it's gonna help you to build lots of muscle and build lean, toned muscle when you are also dieting. And over time, that is gonna help you speed up your metabolism and lose fat more effectively. So really, it's just a bit of a win-win. Not only is it gonna make sure that you're not starving hungry, having any really intense cravings, it's also gonna make you more efficient at losing weight, which is great, right? Combined with that, you want to start really thinking about volume eating. What I mean by that is, yes, it's all well and good to say follow a high protein diet, but you might be someone that's maybe tried a high protein diet before. Have you guys, chuck me in the Zoom chat if you have ever tried like a high protein diet before, or you've tried to up your protein, if you've tried that before. Spoken to a lot of women that have said, I've tried this before and I was still really hungry. Protein isn't the only thing we want to care about. Volume eating is making sure that you're eating a lot of things like fiber, fruit, veg, fibrous foods. That combined with high protein is a bit of a match made in heaven. If you're eating lots of protein with your meals, if you're also having lots of fiber, lots of fruit, lots of veg, that stuff is low calorie, but you can have lots of it because it is low calorie and you can add loads of it to your plate. And that's what I mean by volume eating. You're going to feel like you're eating big portions, you're feeling satisfied from your meals because you're adding those two things combined together, as well as adding carbs, as well as adding fats to your plate. But if you can lead with that and make that kind of the priority in your diet, it is going to make losing weight feel so much easier for you. Some of you guys here might feel like you suffer from having really intense cravings when you're trying to lose weight. Maybe there's a lot of food noise. Maybe there's some emotional eating going on for you there as well. These are all really common things. You would be surprised at how much of this stuff is actually remedied by tracking your food, eating lots of protein, and also making a really conscious effort to put loads of fiber, loads of fruit, and loads of veg onto your plate. Automatically, because you are fueling your body as well as you can, giving your body what it needs, giving your body lots of nourishment, that automatically helps with a lot of that stuff. As a result of that, you want to really think of your calories as a flexible thing rather than something really rigid. One thing that was really game changing for me when I remember I kind of learned this, and one thing that really works well for all of our clients, is start to think of your calories as a weekly target rather than a daily target. So rather than thinking I only have 2,000 calories a day, for example, and that's all I can have, instead, think of having 2,000 calories 7 days a week. So really, your calorie goal for the week is actually 14,000 calories rather than just 2,000 a day. Having this mindset and having a weekly calorie target in mind rather than daily allows you to have flexibility if you do have a meal out on the weekend, or if you have something going wrong in your diet and you have to grab something on the way home and you haven't kind of your normal meal prep or something and you've gone over your calories. If you have a day where something happens and you go over your calories, you can then not freak out and not think, oh my God, I've gone over my calories and I completely ruined my progress. Instead, you can think, okay, I've gone a little bit over today, but I actually have a weekly target. So all I need to do is for the next couple of days, maybe just pull it back slightly. And you're going to have so much flexibility in your week. And that means that you're going to be able to get an incredible result, but not feel like you have to shut yourself away and not see anyone and not do anything and not do anything fun or go out for meals when you're trying to lose weight as well. You're going to have that flexible approach. You should be able to, in a diet, eat out, enjoy social events, still have the foods that you really love, and still make really amazing progress. If you hate what you're eating, if you absolutely hate your diet, if you're just eating chicken, broccoli, and rice day in, day out, you are going to want to quit, and you are going to want to quit very fast. So the philosophy that we think is best is a flexible dieting approach, thinking of your calories as a weekly goal so you can still do the things that you love, but putting an emphasis on, for the majority of your meals, high protein, lots of fiber, lots of fruit and veg, and tracking your calories. The action step for you guys for this with your nutrition is now you want to find your calorie deficit. With a calorie deficit, what quite a lot of people do is they cut way too low, way too soon. I see quite a lot of people that are over 100 kilos being like, oh, I'm on 1,200 calories a day and I'm not losing any weight, which is no surprise to me because that is super, super low for people such as yourselves. So what you want to do is find your maintenance calories. And then you want to take away about 300 or 500 calories away from that maintenance to then place you into a calorie deficit. 300 at least to start with is more than enough. So you want to find your maintenance, take away 300. That's going to place you in a really decent calorie deficit and get you to lose that half a kilo to a kilo per week. And then start to get MyFitnessPal or Nutritrek or any other brand of a food tracker and start to track your food. That is the absolute kind of foundation and kind of the top thing for you to do in order for you to lose weight. Third pillar that I want to talk about now is mindset. This is the biggest part of what we do and the biggest part of a weight loss journey. A lot of people think, oh, I just need a workout plan and I just need a calorie goal. Yes, you need those things, but actually, the biggest thing that you need is you need help with your mindset, with accountability, and help breaking habits and self-limiting beliefs. That's the biggest part of the journey. It runs so much more than the physical when it comes to losing weight. It is emotional and it is mental as well. I wanted to talk about our client Megan here, who has lost 10 kilos. Megan actually didn't start at over 100 kg, but she wanted to come on board anyway, and she wanted help losing weight. The reason why I want to talk about Megan, and she talks really openly about this, and the reason why I am so incredibly proud of her is because she actually very nearly did not join us. She reached out initially and was like, I'd love to learn more about what you do. We said, great, like, let's find time to jump on the phone and have a chat. I got a message from her saying, actually, I've changed my mind. I don't think this is for me. And I just got a hunch. I just got a feeling that the only thing that was holding her back was fear, which is very normal. Like when you're on the precipice of kind of like making a big choice or doing something different or going through a period of growth, like it is going to feel a bit scary and you're going to feel out of your comfort zone. But I dropped her a message and I said, I really believe in you. And I think that if you join this program, from what I've talked about with you so far, I think this program, to be honest, could change your life. So I said, absolutely no pressure, but why don't you just come to the call? There's absolutely zero pressure. We'll have a chat. We'll see if you're the right fit. She did that, and I'm very proud of her for that. She was very brave. She came to the call. Turns out she felt like it was going to be the right fit. She came on board, and so far, she's still in the program with us now. She's lost 10 kilos. And not only that, just last week, she trained for her first ever 5K and did a 5K race, which is something that she would never been able to dream of doing before. The reason why I'm talking about Megan here is because the biggest thing that Megan's had to really address and work on is her mindset. Like in that moment when she was about to be on the precipice of maybe getting a coach and making a big change, there was so much fear holding her back. And that was the thing that was getting in her way rather than, oh, I don't know what workout to do or I don't know what calorie goal to have. That was the thing that was really holding her back. And that is honestly the biggest thing that we work on with our clients in patient fitness. So, like I said, it's the biggest part of the journey. Most people do not fail in a fat loss journey because the plan didn't work. What they actually do, and most of the time, a reason why a lot of people fail is because they throw in the towel after a bad day. They let their emotions maybe control their actions, which is a really common thing, by the way. They keep restarting after a couple of weeks. As a byproduct of letting their emotions get away, they're feeling like they're constantly stopping and starting because they're letting their emotions take over. And also, they're just never taught how to rewire habits. Sometimes I feel like, if you just give someone a workout plan and a calorie goal, it's kind of like putting a plaster in the ceiling. Like it works on the surface, but it's not really addressing the root cause. And quite often, what people really need to lose weight, yes, you need those sorts of things on the surface level, but you need help breaking through maybe some habits that you've had for a long time that haven't been serving you. Maybe you've got some self-doubt after many, many years of trying to lose weight, and maybe you feel like you can't do this. That's something that needs addressing. Maybe you struggle with consistency and sticking at things long term, and maybe that's something that's always been a really big struggle for you. I know that for me, growing up and being like a more of a younger adult, that was something I really struggled with before I was a coach. So inside patient fitness, what we teach is resilience. We teach consistency, emotional control, realistic thinking about their goals, and also giving each lady that we work with the tools to help you shift your habits and push through self-limiting beliefs. It's about small actions that are repeated consistently, and that's what creates the life-changing result. So, the biggest thing that you need in this journey is accountability, someone to be accountable to, whether that is a coach or if it's a family member or a friend or someone in your gym. When you're going through a big transformation like this and you want to lose a lot of weight, it's very, very hard to do it on your own. So, if I could give you guys kind of one piece of advice from this call as well, from this section of the call, it's that if you're doing this just solely on your own right now, see if there's somebody else that you can be accountable to. See if there's somebody else that you can open up the experience to, because it really is true when they say like a problem shared is a problem halved. And if you want to go fast, you can go it alone. But if you want to go long term and keep going, having someone else in your journey to help you is a really big difference. And this is the stuff that you kind of need that help with. So I want to talk about kind of what might be holding you guys back right now. It probably isn't that you don't have a perfect workout plan, and it probably isn't that you don't have perfect calories or you don't quite know what calorie deficit to have. And it's probably not that I don't know how many steps I should be doing. It probably isn't any of those things. It is probably one of or multiple of these things. So, first of all, self-limiting beliefs. You guys, a lot of you guys at the start of the call said that you felt like you'd been through a time where you've tried lots and lots of things to lose weight. You've had many, many attempts, and ultimately you feel like they haven't worked. You guys put that into the Zoom chat at the start. As a result, because quite often when you're in that position, you've tried lots and lots of things and they haven't worked, you end up placing a lot of self-limiting beliefs on yourself. You end up starting to speak to yourself in a way that's like, maybe I'm not designed to lose weight. Maybe I can't lose weight. Maybe it's impossible for me. I can't do this. I'm not someone that can be consistent. I'm not a fitness person. That was something I always used to say to myself when I was young. Oh, I'm not someone that exercises. I'm not an exercise person. These are all self-limiting beliefs that we've either imposed on ourselves or might have been imposed on us by people in our lives. It's not really like, I wouldn't say it's important to know where it's come from. It's just important knowing that it's there. And for whatever reason, the path that we've been on in our life so far, you may well have some beliefs about yourself and you might not back yourself. You might actually deep down think, you know what, I've tried this so many times and it's not worked. What makes me feel like this is actually going to work this time? If you feel that way, it's a really normal feeling, but it is often a thing that is really holding us back, and it's something that is worth thinking about. Second thing might just be the anxiety of change as well. I talked about Megan there, our client, who I'm so glad that she didn't listen to the voices in her head and she took the plunge and she joined us, because she wouldn't be where she is today without that. But quite often when we're on the precipice of change, there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of anxiety there. I'm sure you guys know this, like if you think back, I guess a kind of a mindset exercise right now, if you think back to big times in your life and like big events, it might have been something like taking a major exam or like passing a driving test or any big thing. Whenever you're on the precipice of doing something that requires growth, there is always going to be fear there and there is always going to be discomfort. But what often can quite happen is we let that fear override our brains and make it stop us from taking action, even if we know logically it might be the thing that's good for us. So, for example, it might be nerves about trying a different diet plan or like doing something new with your journey. There might be a lot of fear there holding you back. And what can happen is our brain can override that and let us stop us from taking action. That stems back to when we kind of like way back when we lived in caves and there was immediate threat and immediate danger. Our brain is always looking for threat and looking for danger and wanting to keep us safe. So when we're on the precipice of like making big changes, such as you guys, wanting to lose a lot of weight, our brain can make us feel really anxious and make us feel really scared because it's trying to keep us safe and pull us back. Even though we know logically what we're doing isn't like an immediate threat and it's not going to cause us a lot of danger, sometimes our mind can get the better of us and stop us from taking action, stop us from trying something different. And that is what the anxiety of change is. And it's a really common thing. Limiting transferred beliefs as well, similar to self-limiting beliefs, but again, like there may have been things that have been put on you from a young age, or there may have been some things that you believe about yourself that mean that deep down, even if you might not be conscious of it, maybe you feel like you can't do this. And the final thing as well is just not knowing how to overcome habits that are keeping you stuck. A lot of really common things that we see with the ladies that we work with is they struggle with things like emotional eating. That's a really common thing, or eating from boredom, from stress, negative self-talk, like the self-limiting beliefs, sorry, that I talked about there. A lot of people have these habits, have these ways that they've been doing things, and you may have some habits that have kept you stuck for a long time. Habits that you've had for a long time that maybe for many, many years, sadly aren't going to go away overnight. It would be amazing if they did because it would make your journey so much easier. But if it takes a long time to build a habit, it also takes a long time to undo a habit. And that's where it's difficult. That's why we say, on paper, fat loss seems easy, and it seems simple, but actually putting it into practice, that's why it's hard because it takes a long time to build new habits and to break old ones. Sometimes, knowing that you have a habit but not actually knowing how to overcome it might be a thing that's holding you back at the moment as well. And like I said, we're not consciously aware of a lot of these things sometimes. So, what you need and an action step for you guys is, like I said, whether it's with a coach or not, or whether it's with a family member, a friend, someone close to you, in this journey that you're going through, you need someone to help you. You need someone to kind of like hold the mirror up, to hold you accountable, to motivate you when you feel low, and to help you to overcome those mental obstacles. And that's a really, really important part of what you're facing. It's not just calories and workouts, it runs a lot deeper than that. And it really is, when we talk about transformation, it's physical and it's mental and it's emotional. So the identity shift that you guys kind of needs to make on the journey that you're on, you need to start behaving and thinking how the dream version of you would. So I want you guys to think about that right now. Like that dream version of you, let's say that person who not only looks the way that you want to look, but behaves like the way you want to look, feels the way that you want to feel. You need to start behaving and thinking like that dream version of you. If you imagine that you're standing there and that dream version of you that has lost the weight, that has gone through this incredible transformation, that has more energy, is an amazing role model for their friends and their family, feels better in themselves, is super confident, you need to start thinking and behaving like that person that you want to become. And you need to start trying to do that now as you're trying to become that person. You need to try and overcome that self-doubt, overcome anxiety, overcome fear, and know that success and anything worth doing comes from taking a risk sometimes. It comes from backing yourself, and it comes from maybe doing the hard thing or making the uncomfortable choice. Maybe those days where you're really unmotivated and you don't want to go in the gym and your mind is telling you, oh, just stay at home and don't do it. Sometimes making that uncomfortable choice is the thing that you have to do to propel you forward. Or maybe it's, you have prepped a meal in the fridge that you're going to eat that's high protein, but really you're kind of like, oh God, can I really be bothered to eat that? I kind of fancy a takeaway. Like making that choice in that moment, making the uncomfortable choice of thinking, actually, no, I'm going to not listen to that voice in my head. I'm going to go back to this. That is what actually provides a total full body transformation. And when I say full body, I mean something that's physical and mental. And like I've said, it's not just calories and workouts, it runs so much deeper than that. And that's the identity shift that you guys need to start thinking about making. So, the shift that we teach, you do not need ever at any point in your journey to be perfect. You do not and you will not be motivated all of the time. I don't know anyone that's motivated all of the time. And you do not need to have the perfect week either. But what you do need is you need a structure that is easy to follow, that fits with your everyday life and isn't you shoehorning your life into something that doesn't work for you. You need support and you need consistency over time. You are much better off focusing on being consistent every day rather than just trying to be perfect for like 2 or 3 days, ultimately getting overwhelmed, feeling like it's unsustainable, and then unraveling and being in this cycle of stopping and starting every couple of days. That's the shift that we teach, and that's the shift that you guys need to make as well.
So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. That's the kind of three pillars that we work with inside Patient Fitness in order to get to people under 100 kg and the kind of results that we are able to achieve. Those are the major kind of three pillars that we work on, and more so those mindset shifts. Okay. So, like I said, we have got an offer at the end of this call. So, I appreciate you guys sticking around for the end. Now, there's no pressure to do this, of course, but we do have something that we've never done before, which is a 90-day sub 100 case study. It's designed to either get you below 100 kg in that first 90 days, or at least equip you with the tools that you need in order to do so after the fact, depending on kind of where we're sat in terms of our weight. What's included in that is personalized calorie and workout plan tailored to you. So if you're listening to all of this, you're like, oh, I don't know how to do all that sort of stuff. Like it's cool that you've given me this information, but how do I then find it out? How do I then action it? How do I then put it into my life? We'll do that for you, and all you need to do is kind of stick to it. And we can give you, calls like this every single week. We do this inside of Patient Fitness, that will actually equip you with the tools that you need in order to move forward, in order to keep making progress. One-to-one Zoom call on board, like a one-to-one Zoom onboarding call in week one, and 3 monthly coaching calls as well. Daily accountability and support, weekly in-depth check-ins, so you're not doing this alone anymore. Like you said, you have that person to hold the mirror up, to keep you accountable, to do this with. You're not just kind of alone anymore on this. You have access to our closed community. Now, a few of our clients are here today. You'll be in a community with those guys as well. People who are going through it in real time to keep you accountable, share wins with, share challenges with, and a discounted 90-day rate as well for the masterclass attendees only. We're not going to go, we're not going to give this kind of discount to other people. We are going to go live with this offer, but this discount is just for people who came to the masterclass live. We have 3 spots available for this discounted rate. Otherwise, our accountant will kill us. For the people on this call. So DM the word offer, like message Zoe on Instagram, just DM her the word offer. And we can kind of give you all the information for that. So only DM the word if you're serious about this. Okay. If you're serious about getting help, if you're serious about like wanting to get to below 100 kg, and you're dedicated to actually drawing a line in the sand, and see offers coming through already, which is
Yeah,
great.
cool.
Cool. You want to draw a line in the sand and start making different decisions from today. Okay. So only message us if you're ready for that, because we don't want to waste your time. We're pretty busy, and we do hop on calls with people and get as in depth as possible, because we hold clients' hands through this. We work very one to one, very closely with clients here as well. So your next steps with this, you have 3 choices. You can either do nothing and nothing will change. Essentially, it's pretty obvious. You can take all you've learned from today and you can go it alone, which is cool. But again, if motivation is there, it's great. It's what we do on the average week. It's when we're not feeling motivated, when we don't want to do it, that really, really matters. And that's when having accountability and getting someone involved will actually help you there. Or you can DM Zoe to learn more, and you never have to do this on your own again. You have that person there ready to help you, at a drop of a hat, message away, and we can keep you accountable. We can keep you on track, and we can do what we've done for 100 other people for you as well. So the final message here is, number one, you don't need to sacrifice your life to lose weight. Okay, no matter what people tell you, no matter what you think, you do not need to sacrifice your life to lose weight. What you need is a realistic plan. You need support, you need consistency, and you need patience. And if you commit to the process, the simplified process, not taking little bits from everyone, genuinely your entire life can change. Change for me, it changed for Zoe, it's changed for hundreds of people inside Patient Fitness. It's proven to work. Thank you. Do you have anything else to say?
Just that I hope this has been really useful for you guys. I hope that there's loads of stuff that you can take from this. And it's been an absolute pleasure to have so many of you on here. It's been really great to connect with you all. Like I said, if you want to learn more about the offer, drop me a message on Instagram. I've got a couple coming in now, which is awesome. Just drop offer to me on Instagram and we can talk to you more about that. But like I said, I hope this has been really useful for you guys. For those of you that are listening live, it's been great to have you. Also, for those of you that listen to this pre-recorded, I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening or daytime. I know some of you guys are overseas, wherever you're kind of calling in from in the world. But take care, and we hope to catch you on another one if we do in the future.
Thank you, guys. And for the
Thank
guys
you.
that DM'd us offer, we'll get back to you and we'll send you all the information that you need.
Perfect.
Catch you in a bit, guys.
See you later.